Hello, welcome to our channel. I am Gabs, one half of Slip Slip Sis. And today I figured we would do kind of a different video than a normal podcast or a vlog. Chaley just finished like all of Vlogmas. So she's like been carrying the brunt of all of our vlogging. If you wanted to check out Chaley's Vlogmas, you can see she recorded it for all of December, which was super great. She opened her advent, all of those things. This is where I have to say the YouTube things. Like and subscribe if you like our videos, all of those things. It's super helpful in the algorithm. But today's video, I'm going to be filming a frogging your finished objects, which is weird, right? Like I spent all this work on making something and then now I'm frogging it after I finished it, after I've blocked it, after I've worn it. But I realized I'm never gonna wear it, so I might as well frog it into something that I want it to be. So the first one, and it's nothing against the patterns, I think it's the choices, the fit choices that I made or the yarn choices that I made. So they're great patterns. If you see them and like them, you should totally make them. Both of these were test knits. The first one is, I think they're a Tillamook Valley. They're by Lindsay Fowler of Larkspurs. They're it's really cute. It's got this really beautiful detail here. I really liked the sock. So this was the first one I made back in like 2018. I finished one, which was the test knit, and I did that and it turned out great and it was beautiful. The yarn is Vampire Queen by Forbidden Fiber Company. So I loved it. I was like, this is so cool. And then I didn't make the other sock. And then I knit this one while I was knitting English style. And then about a year ago, I was like, oh, you know what? I should finish my finished objects. I knit this one where I learned how to knit continental, and they are not the same gauge at all. Like grievously not the same gauge. It's close to, I think I'm getting, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I'm getting almost 8 stitches per inch for this one. And I'm getting, let's see, 6 stitches per inch for this one. So the gauge is it's not there. This one fits really well. This one doesn't fit well at all. And I'm not really willing to go back to knitting English style just to get this sock to fit the same way. It just didn't work out. So I'm going to be frogging these socks. I've worn them a couple times and the one with the looser gauge, truly, it just doesn't fit. It's super loose. It's super baggy. It doesn't fit me. I think it's because because my gauge is different, I should have knit a smaller size, but because this one I knit with a tighter gauge, I couldn't do that and it didn't work out. So the lesson is don't wait 4 years between knitting one sock and then the other, because who knows, your gauge might change, life might change, all of these things, and no amount of blocking fixed it. So I'm going to frog these 2 finished socks, and I think I'm going to crank them and turn them into a pair of vanilla socks. The other thing that I am going to frog that's a finished object, I just finished it this October. It was my first crochet garment. It's this, which is the Descending Peaks sweater. The pattern was great. It just doesn't fit me right. I think I chose cotton yarn instead of wool, and the cotton just doesn't drape nicely in crochet. It's too dense. So I kind of like walk around like this with it. So it's a pretty pattern. You can see the stitch. It's a beautiful pattern. It's a beautiful yarn. It's just not the right choice. And instead of leaving it sitting around, I'm going to frog it, and it's going to turn into a float tote, which is a pattern by Nitty Natty that my sister and dad are making, and I've kind of begged and weaseled my way in, and hopefully they'll make me the float tote. Crocheting hurts my shoulder a little bit, so I don't usually crochet that much, but maybe I'll crochet this a little bit. I crocheted this and I was dedicated to it and I finished it. It came out cute. There are pictures on our Instagram if you're interested, but I'm not gonna wear it, and I figure I should have things in my wardrobe that I'm gonna wear, not just sit around, and I think it'll have a better life. This yarn will have a better life as a float tote, but it is truly a cute pattern. I think just don't use cotton yarn for it and I think it would be fine. My gauge was also a little bit large, so I had to fiddle around with it as well. I just crochet and knit super loose. So I'm going to frog these buddies and then hopefully start some new projects with them, and I will their new lives are. All right, so I finished frogging the two items I wanted to frog. So I attempted to film cranking my socks, but I think you mostly just see my back. So I'll clip in what I can. But I cranked the socks into tubes. So I have 2 socks and it came out so, let's see, can I block my face and it focuses? Yes. It came out so pretty. So I think I like this a lot better. I have 2 sock tubes, and you can even tell this way that I didn't use the same amount of yarn for each sock, which they roughly should be the same amount of yarn if you are making identical socks. So it wasn't even close, but so I've got these ready to go. I will pop heels, toes, and cuffs onto them, and then I will have another finished object. I pulled apart the cake, or the top. I have many cakes from that. I have this, and then because I had crochet edgings, I've got these little buddies that are also here. So I've got this like crochet, or this yarn tower now, to start the float tote by Nitty Natty. My sister and dad have already started making theirs, so, or Chaley's, and she says it uses a lot of yarn because you have to hold the yarn double. So I think they're making a 2 skein mini tote and a 3 skein regular. We bought there's a tote family. It's 2 patterns. One is for a 3 skein and a 5 skein tote, and one is for a 1 skein and a 2 skein. But if you buy the patterns together, you get a little bit of a discount. So Chaley thinks that I can maybe pull off the 2 skein tote with what I have of yarn, because she's got the other half of it. I'm kind of waiting to see how much she has. The pattern also is 2-toned, so it's like a color on the bottom and then another color for the main body, but I want mine to be all one color. But Chaley says I'm definitely gonna run out of yarn, but you know how I am with yarn chickens, so I'm just gonna risk it. And I don't know. But I'm also trying to work on knitting my stash down, finishing whips. I've got a design commission that I'm almost exclusively working on, so I may have longer hair or a different hairstyle for when you see me next, when I have finished these 2 projects that were FOs and are now whips again. So I will see you probably in a couple weeks. So it is January 22nd. I'm checking back in with you after a couple weeks of progress, none of which I have made on the finished objects that I decided to frog. So I do have a new project. This was the crochet tank top that I decided to frog. I frogged the entire thing and asked my dad to make me a float tote by Nitty Natty. It's so cute. I love it. Chaley has one too. Chaley's is gray and then the pink on top, but I wanted a whole 1 color one. And my dad, I gave him the yarn, sent it with him, and then I was like, oh, I'll knit one of the cups. So I kept a little yarn back for myself so I could knit on it, or I could crochet it. He did the whole project for me in like a week. So I get to use it now. It has there's nothing in, it has the little like insert disc, which I did run out of the pink, or he ran out of the pink and used white instead, and they're attached via magnets, which is super cool. So you can take them apart and then put them back together, so that your floats, or your yarn for your colorwork project doesn't get out of hand. We definitely ran out of yarn, or he ran out of yarn for this one. I actually really like how this one turned out. I'm kind of sad that they all didn't we didn't do them all like, or he didn't do them all like this. It came out super cute. This one especially, it's my favorite because it's got cute little stripies. And then, so he finished it all. And then I was like, he's like, I had to use some white. And I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. Thank you so much. And then he's like, but I think the insert's a little bit too small. I'm like, oh, that's okay. I was like, oh, I have more pink yarn because it was my swatch. So I forgot that I had the swatch for the project. So then I gave him the swatch, and that's where he added this extra trim. It came out really cute. It looks a little floppy without yarn in it, but I really like it. It goes inside. It goes inside the tote like this. And then when your project is in it, see now it's inside the tote. And then when your project is in it, your stuff stays organized, and you can just kind of like stuff your project right on the top. It's super portable. It also just looks cute. I'm thinking of making a full more of these by.
Mommy made me stop painting.
I made you stop painting? Lottie is doing her own craft right at my feet. So she's painting something we got from Joanne. So this is the float tote. Came out super cute. Thanks, Dad. And the other project, how have I misplaced it, is technically has made some progress on it, but it's a very technical project. This is housed in my Nope bag that I just got from Erin Lane Bags, Lindsay of Erin Lane Bags. There, I do have a Hank Miss haul video, which I will link. I think it goes up here. I can't remember.
Did she send you all those bags?
She did send me all those bags. Lottie loves Lindsay as well. So if you want to see my Hank Miss haul video, it's super cute. This is a snap and stash. But
Mom, did you get some more bags?
I did. The technical progress that I've made on this is I have selected the mini.
With you?
Not right now. I have selected the mini that goes with this. Lottie helped me pick it, and then we voted on Instagram stories. So we are one step closer to actually working on these socks. Hopefully I will do that soon, and you'll see that process as well. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Okay, so I am on the last installment of my frogging finished objects. These are the Vampire Queen socks in their new glory. They're very tall socks, but I like them. I put them on and I kind of went like this with them, so they kind of scrunch down like leg warmers, my sister said, and they end up looking super cute with my Converse on. So these are my finished objects. I love them a lot more. I'm excited to wear them. The other ones, just they didn't fit right. The gauge was not what I wanted them to be. So I'm really pleased with both options of both decisions that I made to frog those finished objects that just weren't right for me. And now I've got fabric. I've got yarn that I'm really excited for. I've got projects that I enjoyed, and I wasn't just like, I felt like I was wearing or using out of obligation instead of actually being excited to wear or use my knits, which isn't against the pattern at all. It wasn't right for me at the time. The details on this one are I did 12 rows of this contrast color, and then I did 2 rows of this color pop, which was a technique that I first saw on Kay the Crazy Sock Ladies. Because I cranked these, this is essentially knit like it was toe up, right? So I picked up these stitches here and then knit up here and then cast off. I cut in for the afterthought heel here, and then I picked up the stitches for my toe. So these came out really cute. I'm actually really glad they came out tall because the other socks were bordering on too short, and I'm so surprised at how long they are, because they used to be like right here, right? How long they are in comparison to what the lace was. So lace really does eat up a bunch. So I also think heel flap and gusset uses a lot, as well as I cut in contrast, which I didn't. And I'm learning for myself that I really like socks with contrast heels, toes, and cuffs. I think it makes them a little bit more exciting for me to wear as well as to knit, that it just kind of, I don't know, adds a little something like personality to them. And I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, useful, entertaining, or inspired you to frog your finished objects. If they're not bringing you joy, if you're not wearing them, if you're not reaching for them, gift them or reclaim that yarn and frog it. Yeah, Yarn's expensive. You spent a lot of time on something. You gotta, you know, you gotta like what you wear. And anyway, thanks so much for joining us, or joining me. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more.